It's episode 3 of the Monaghan Way with myself, Sean McCaffrey, and in association with Northern Sound. We're back out again. The weather has changed. It's a little bit damp. It's overcast. And I'm in front of a door here. I'm back to my Bosco days. Knock, knock. Open wide. See what's on the other side. Knock, knock anymore. Come with me through this white glass door. Now, I did mention to you, it is episode 3 of the Monaghan Way with myself, Sean McCaffrey, in association with Northern Sound. And my thanks to Conor Mohan, who has invited me into his, I'm going to call it a man cave that we have here. Plenty of motorsport memorabilia around us. And in the middle of the floor, a snooker table. I would never associate it, or is it a pool table? I would never associate that with someone that would be sitting in a car going at high speed. Conor, is this how you have downtime and relax after being out in a rally?
Yeah, well, it's a time to switch off, I suppose, and get away from all the hectic weekends and all and weeks you have away, but yeah.
It's a nice spot. It's a lovely spot to chillax in. And again, my thanks to inviting us in here. Some people may be familiar with you and your name, others maybe not. So to give a wee bit of a background, you are Conor Mohan, well known on the motorsport end of things, a navigator that not only competes locally, nationally, internationally, but indeed on the world stage.
Yeah, well, I started rallying back in 2014. I started Night Navigations. I suppose the first navigation was in October, and I started there with my uncle Colin, and just after that then I sort of kept at them. I'm still at them, but the rallying has sort of took more of a step now, and concentrating more on it. But started rallying in 2016 with Michael Carbon. That was my first rally. It was the Mayday stages in Enniskillen. It was around a track, but then my first competitive rally calling notes was the Donegal Harvest that same year in October.
And what was motorsport? What was the attraction? I know you would have worked down in a certain yard here in Ballinode, Maguire International, and we know Niall and the motorsport pedigree that was there. Was that where it was born, or how did it come about?
Yeah, so I would have always been going to rallies with my dad, and he would have always took us to the local rallies in Donegal and Monaghan and Cavan and that there. But then I started working down in Maguire's on Saturdays and in evenings and that, and working at the rally cars, and then Michael obviously was down there as well working at his car, and sort of just butted in and was being nosy. And then I started doing gravel notes in, so Niall got me along to the rallies and started doing gravel notes for him along with Michael, and basically just from then on it just all took its own way, and I eventually was given the opportunity to go and do first stage rally with Michael, and then ever since that they've took me along, and that's where I am today.
It's a short period of time, but we can nearly say the rest is history from that point. So it is. You just noted, and I'm mindful people that'll be tuning in on this one, some will be very familiar with motorsport and navigating and rallying and even your own background. For others, maybe not. Gravel notes, just give us a little explanation as to what that reference is, how that come about.
Yeah, so basically Niall was doing the national championship. I think it was him and Enda the first year I went, and they would go and do their normal recce and do their normal preparations before the rally. But on the day of the rally, on the morning of the event, myself and Michael would go out and take the pace notes and drive through the stages, because usually either there's a change in weather or there's been a lot more debris on the road from when they recce'd the rally. So we would go through the route, check the notes, and put in any changes, like if it rained the night before, slippy sections, just dangerous sections, and just double check the notes so that they're fully sure that what they have is all good and that they're happy.
Absolutely, yeah. So at that very early stage, you were being introduced, and I'm going to touch in on the night navigation in a moment, but you were being introduced to note reading and how to, I suppose, call the notes and be familiar with them.
Yeah, well, it was a big learning curve for me. Like, it was completely different to what I would normally class navigating as, like reading a map. Like, it's a completely different type, and just getting to see different way people work and how they go about doing it, and it took off from there. Like.
Absolutely, and I will touch on the night navigations, because any good navigator will always come through the school of the night navigation, out at night, reading a map up and down the boreens and the highways and byways of the country.
Yeah, the night navigations, I still believe like they are the proper grassroots of motorsport and the proper way to get into navigating. Like in my eyes, if you can read a Northern Survey map going down a mucky lane at night and everything coming against you, you'll go anywhere. Like, and I still would always relay back to my map, no matter where I am or what rallies I go to. If I was doing my organisation, I always look back at a map, and the night navigations has helped me.
Yeah, because again, navigator, what we see is in car majority of the time, and the stage is live. You're calling the notes, directing where the driver's to go. That doesn't stop for you there. You have to get to the stage, you have to get off the stage, you have to get to service, get to control. So there's a lot of, as you know, maybe map reading and road book reading goes on outside of what you do on the live stage.
Yeah, the preparation is key, and it's all the work you do the weeks leading up to the event that helps you. Like, there's no way that you possibly could go to any of them events in the world and just land there and just expect Evan to work. You need Evan in your head before you go, and again, it's just preparation is the main thing, and if you're well prepared, the week will just run smoothly for you, but you just need to always have to have your work done.
Absolutely, and I know you're just fresh from Cavan stages. You were out on the World Rally in recent times there as well. I think Portugal was your last outing on it, and you're already prepping, you were telling me, for Greece, which is coming up now towards the end of this month as well. So it's a constant go, isn't it?
Yeah, the summer now is just going to be hectic. We had Portugal there 2 weeks ago, and then the week before that, then we actually done a test rally in Portugal before that. So it was fairly hectic, and now Greece is only around the corner. It's like 3 weeks away, so it's just non-stop, but it's a good experience.
Absolutely, and I should note that the competitor or the driver you sit with then, from the World Rally perspective, you've been with him there for the past number of years, and as fairness, we've seen the trophies round us here, and there's one in particular over here I'm looking at. You were third overall in the Junior World Rally Championship as well, sitting in with Donegal man Eamon Kelly.
Yeah, that there was actually came as a shock to me. I didn't actually realise how, when we got to the finish control of that rally, which was Greece, and it was probably, we were very lucky to get to the finish of it. We had mechanical issues, and but I didn't realise until I got to the finish control that I had snapped third. It was just the way the results worked within the final loop, and I snapped it up. But yeah, it was a nice one to get.
Absolutely, to be third in any world competition that you're in, and to be on the podium like that was something special to be. I'm looking, it's a fair lump of a trophy as well.
Yeah, you'll not run away with it.
No, you'll not. There's a brave weight to it, so there is. I was asking you, did you have to pay extra on the luggage when you were bringing that one home? So I did. But yourself and Eamon, how did that team form, or how did that come about?
So basically, it was through Michael and actually Conor Foley, which is a neighbour of mine, and Conor was sitting with Donna, which is Eamon's father at the time, and that's basically Donna was looking for a navigator for Eamon, and Conor recommended me, and ever since that, we've done, I don't know how many rallies we've done together, but actually Cavan stages, I think it was 2018 was our first rally, Cavan stages in a Honda Civic, so we've been around a lot of corners before from that, so we've done a lot of rallying.
It must be like I'm not going to say a husband and wife relationship, but it has to be a very trusting relationship, obviously.
Yeah, no, we're good friends, like, and we get on well, and
yeah, you need that.
Crack, and no, there's no point in turning up and just sitting into the car and just calling it. You need to have a good friendship outside the car, and we always have the crack, and it makes the week go that bit better, like.
Yeah, obviously, and I know because you are in each other's company for that. You're going to head out now, just take Greece as your example. You're going out, you're going to be wrecking. Then there'll be the bit of downtime and prep and car and one thing and another. Then you're into the event, which normally lasts maybe 3 to 4 days. So it's the best part of a week or more that you are completely in each other's company.
Yeah, I know, like, there's not a day goes by that really actually don't be talking to each other, or we're discussing something, or phone calls. So, like, no, you do spend a lot of time with each other, and you wouldn't want to fall out or nothing.
You would not.
It would be a long week.
It's a language of your own then that you have when you're in the car. And I'm fascinated. You've got some of the pace note books here from the last rally you were at. I think, yeah, Portugal of 25. Car number 88 I'm reading here as well. So you have the shakedown the Thursday and the Friday. And the notes, just to explain, I can read notes. I have been there and read notes, but even I, when I was looking at them, suddenly realised this is a completely different way of reading notes. And I suppose that's what you find as well, depending on who you're sitting in. Each driver is different in regards to the information they want to get relayed to them.
Yeah, every driver is different in my eyes, like, and no driver is the same, and how they like the notes being said to them, and the timing, and just in general, like the way they grade their corners. Like, every driver is different. But Eamon's notes, like, he puts a nice bit of detail in, but it's simple, and it's easy to get through to him, and he understands it, and I understand it, so that's all that matters. You could hand them notes to somebody else, and they could drive to them, but they could be off in the second or third corner because it's just not the way they would grade their corners. So it's all to do with the driver, basically, in my eyes.
And the grading that you speak of in corners, it used to be, I think it was 1 to 6, wasn't it? Depending, I know it's changed now, maybe they're up 7 and 8. Some used to be to do with the gear you were coming into the corner at, others to do with the severity of the corner. So Eamon is, what's a 1 to Eamon?
So a 1 is flat out.
Okay.
And a 6 is obviously a tight square corner, or and then there's drivers that's obviously the other way around, that's 6, and basically they mean 6 is
sixth gear, effectively, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, Eamon has always used 1 fastest, and it's what we started off, and it's what we've stuck to, and it's worked. So yeah, that's all that matters.
And if you were getting in then with different drivers that have that different variation on how corners are read, how difficult is it for you to adapt as a navigator to that driver? And I know the drivers you're sitting in with the majority of the time are you're familiar with them and maybe you've sat with them, but still it has to be a change of a gear, if you can pardon the pun, in your own head to go, this man takes it different.
Yeah, like it is hard to get into your head, but once you get, it takes a couple of corners for you to get in, because you're coming, maybe you could call a 6 right and you're coming to it and you're wondering why he's not dropping the gear and next thing you're gone. But I actually only I've done a couple of rallies doing it the other way, but it's not really, most of the drivers that I've ever sat with and is all 1 fastest. So but I don't mind, 6 fastest is grand. It just takes a bit of getting used to it, but
yes,
it's okay. Like.
And you noted there that's what you'd find coming into the corner. And again, from a navigating perspective, your head the majority of the time, if not all the time, is in the book. You're reading by your backside nearly in the car, aren't you? The movement of the car, where it's going, and even the noise of the car, the speed of the car. That's how you're reading where you are on the road. Yeah,
you like to see a bit of a distance coming, so you can get a bit of maybe a pick up of that. But if you get into a technical stage, that's literally relentless. Like, you might very rarely ever you might throw your eye up now and again, but you feel most of it through your back. Like.
Yeah, sitting in the seat and taking it all in. Yeah. And you're hoping it's all fairly quiet coming from the man on the other side then as well.
Well, you might, sometimes you could hear a bit of a
that was quick.
Through or something like that, and you'd be just wondering what happened.
Because there would be adjustments, I take it, to notes, even if you're running the stage maybe for a second or third time, there could be some wee tweak even that you twigged it.
Absolutely, yeah, and there does be, and there will always be. You're coming through a stage and maybe you've made a corner maybe a bit too brave, or maybe a corner that you come to and you could say to yourself, we could have been far harder in that. So yes, you would mark if there's any bit of a communication at all between the driver and the co-driver, you would mark it and get to the end of the stage and discuss it, or else analyse your in-car then in service and see where you can be quicker and change it. Just
read me, there's a first page of notes, just give us an idea of what we're reading here. So this was a shakedown on a 5.72 kilometre stage I'm seeing here. So I like the instructions at the start. So camera on, extinguishers armed, and it's 3, 2, 1 and away we go.
Yeah, it's just 2 notes. They're just 2 important notes for myself that literally they're whatever about the camera on, but the extinguisher armed is very important before you start a stage, because again, it's for safety and it needs to be there. So it does. So so we start off the stage. This was shakedown in Portugal this year.
Yeah.
And so our first note was 30 short square right don't. Well, don't means that don't cut, but we just say don't because it's only 1 syllable, so it's 1 word and it's easier. is how he understands it, and 60 late shortish 3 right minus. So we would grade the corners. We'd have plus and minus, so it gives you an extra grade within that corner, and it's just to be more precise, really. And then 80 1 right half, so we count our half as basically the corners like half long. It goes on a wee bit longer than what it normally would. And then 40 max 2 left is basically like a flat 2 left. It's fairly fast. It's basically flat out. 80 max left 120, and then late max left over crest, and then 150 keep right for shortish 4 left minus opens.
And away we go on from there.
Yeah.
Another fascinating detail that I noted on your books, I would say you're numbering them backwards. But again, there's a reason for that. And this is fascinating when you told me why this is.
Yeah, that's just, it's things you pick up from looking at other drivers or other co-drivers, and the way they do it. But basically, yeah, I number my pages backwards, and it's within reason. If you've like 8 pages left in the stage, well, you have roughly around 8 kilometres. It's usually in around a kilometre a page, give or take. So if you get a puncture or you have an issue in the stage, well, if your driver asks you, how long have we left? Well, you can say, right, we have 8 kilometres or 7 kilometres left in the stage. So whether you chance it on or you pull in, it's
up to you. But you know immediately by looking at the top right-hand corner where you are distance-wise, approximately to the end of the stage.
Give or take. It always depends on the characteristics of the stage, given that if it's a technical stage or a fast stage, will depend on how many pages you have.
And I should note as well, you've lines under some of your notes here as well, so I take it that is to be read just in one quick sort of succession. You said to me, nearly is one line.
Yeah, so it's just the way I do it and the way I've learned from looking at different people's the way they do it, and I've just sort of managed it myself on how I do it. So I would usually underline underneath a series of notes if they had to be just read as one in a nice steady tone, and then I would put another thing I would do is put a squiggle down the side. That would just notifies me that if I'm coming to something that's quick or something that's tight that comes at me quick, then I need to know that I need to speed up calling.
What's the average? That there was a 5.73 kilometre stage. That's a couple of minutes, I suppose, in general terms. The average stage, and I know they differ from where you go, but you could be talking up 20, 30, 40k of a stage, could you?
So the longest stage I've ever done was in Sardinia 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. And it was a 53 kilometre stage.
Wow, that's 20 or 30 miles, is it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be far off it.
Yeah.
There's a brave bit of calling in that.
Yeah, your tongue gets dry now. Yeah, but most of them's always in around, they vary in the mid-20s. There are those ones that goes up to 30. But it's anywhere from about 15 till 30k, in around that there they would vary.
Right.
But that one was it was special that year, and it was tough on everybody.
And that's keeping an eye on notes, keeping an eye on pages, keeping the information fed to the driver. There's no pause, there's no rest, unless you say you get a big long straight where you can just look up, draw a breath and be ready to go again. But even in that, you can't let your concentration even slip on that long straight. You have to be prepared what's coming next.
Yeah, they say that it's in around 8 minutes your concentration levels, full concentration levels last. So, but no, you need to be on the ball and you need to be always thinking ahead and trying to keep the driver just calm and keeping him on the road.
On the road. I just find, just to finish up on the notes, because I want to move to the safety gear that you used to be wearing then as well. This note, is this a form of note? You told me you have shorthand yourself, but is this something you and Eamon have devised yourselves? As I said, I know it's different with every driver, but is this something you have devised? Is this unique to you?
Yeah, this is, unique to us, yeah. And the way I write them, it's probably, if you could hand it to another co-driver, they would probably have a bit of reading and figuring out to do before you would start to figure out my shorthand. But yeah, we've just picked notes up from other drivers and how they would use them, and we've put all ours together, and it's what works for us, really. Absolutely.
It's fascinating. And again, as I said, for some maybe that aren't involved and have no knowledge of the sport, I think they'd be fascinated even just by, it's a whole language. It's a whole language.
It is, yeah. And the roads, especially out in Europe, they can be so technical in places, and so much work that you need to get as much information in on the corner to get as much out of the corner and get it to carry as much speed as you can. And that's where your notes come in, and you need to have them. You're so precise.
And we should say, when we say the recce, that's the reconnaissance. You go out and you get a chance to go over these roads at normal road speeds, and that's when your notes are being made on the back of that. And that differs obviously when you go in and you're going full speed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it all depends on the speed that you hit it at, but it's just through experience and that you're able to gauge of what's
coming.
What's coming.
When you're out driving the roads, are you constantly reading the road? Are you constantly making notes in your own head now, even locally here when you're on the roads?
You'd always be looking and figuring it out, but no, I'll not start into the driving or making notes.
I'd just be fascinated by that end as well, tipping into Monaghan here and he's reading every corner by a number or a crest or plus or a minus.
Yeah.
Fascinating with the notes, but I want to move across here because we have a couple of helmets that you have alongside us here as well. Again, safety obviously is paramount in the cars, and hopefully at some stage I'll get chatting to a driver and get a whole rundown on a car on the inside and the outside. But from a personnel point of view, this is one piece of very important equipment that you have here.
Yeah, well, to me it's nearly one of the most important things that you would always wear, between it and your neck restraint. But yeah, it's a vital part, and it's a thing that you need to take care of everywhere you go, especially at the rallies, because without that you'll not do much.
Well, no, you'll not be allowed into the car obviously enough, but it's there for your own safety as well. And I know that the intercom is built into it, because again, you just have to communicate. You're not going to hear yourself in the car with the helmet on, so there's obviously intercoms that's built into these helmets.
So your intercom is built in here, and then you have your mouthpiece, which is what you talk through and what gets through to the driver. And basically it's built into the helmet, and you plug in here and it connects to the intercom of the car, and then the driver connects into it as well, and you can then hear each other.
And is communications from that going back to any base then as well, or is it solely between you and the car?
It goes back to the camera, and then that's it.
Right, so you aren't in a relay back.
No.
It's not like Grand Prix. You're not talking to somebody back in pit lane that's giving you information or anything like that.
No, it's only us in the car. And
only you in the car.
What's been said.
These personalised helmets, are they? I'm just looking at the design on them and that as well.
Yeah, so that's actually my first helmet that I got back when I started rallying first, and then I got a paint design done on it, and then that's my current helmet there, which is carbon fibre, which is if you lift that there one and then lift that one, the difference in
the comparison in weight, the safety structure is not compromised in any way. It's just it's lighter obviously on your head, even
because you're doing like longer stages, and you have the helmet on you for longer distances, and through time, like if you have that on for a 25 or 30k stage, you do feel it in your head and your neck, and that there is just
a lot
much lighter and much easier on your head.
And I was going to say, listen, I touched on Grand Prix. We do hear about the G-forces, and you experienced G-forces, I take it. If you're rising up and down over, I know the corners are more sweeping, but there's bound to be tight area where you would feel yourself.
Oh, there is, and especially over big jumps. You do get it on big jumps, coming out over big jumps, and you feel everything is lifted in your body, and you land, you're ready for the landing. But it's all to do with, again, if you're strapped into the car well, it doesn't be too bad.
It doesn't be too bad. I know we have the range of suits that are over here as well. So we do from your first one right through to when you're sitting with Mickey Carbon, well known on the motorsport end of things, and then into your World Rally suits here as well. And again, you were telling me 2 of those suits you get supplied with every year then too, and you carry them, you need them even on one event.
No, you need to have plenty of gear and fresh gear for each day, and it's they give you 2 suits and you get your 2 sets of undergear at each event, and it's a key
part of it. Not only from the point of view, I know the sponsorships on it, but they're fully fireproof suits with the undergear then as well, and right down even to what's on your feet then, the footwear and that too. It's all part of the safety when you're in the vehicle.
Yeah, everything is. You have your long johns, and you have your top, and you have your socks and your boots, and then you have your balaclava as well. So basically you're covered from head to toe in fireproof equipment, so it takes it all.
Absolutely, and it can't be compromised in any way whatsoever. Talking of events, what's the favourite? What's the one that stands out for you, or is there any in particular?
Sweden is
Okay,
a
right, the snow.
Yeah, snow. It's
Right.
definitely a special rally. One that's we do get on well. We've got on well and have had good results in.
Yeah.
But it's something else.
Well, it's down as one of the fastest rallies in the world, interesting enough, even though it's on snow. And I think does that come down to the traction that's there? If you stay between the banks, and obviously you have the spikes or the pins and the wheels, that gives you the better traction. So I take it the grip is there if you can get it.
Yeah, you need the hard ice to get the proper grip, but it's the grip you have on it is unbelievable. People would often ask like how you carry such speeds in snow, but it's you actually, in my eyes, you nearly have more grip on the snow than you would on a gravel rally here at home.
Right, yeah, because as I said, the spiking down, it's got the grip that's biting into it.
Yeah.
Finland, what's the experience of it like? Because we know what it's about. It's all between trees and big crests, big jumps.
Yeah, Finland, we done it last year, and we were again having on for a really good result in it. And halfway through Saturday, I think it was, we picked up a puncture, and it put us in the back foot. But yeah, it's definitely one of them places, the unumpired jump, which is a famous jump in the World of Rallying. We went over it last year, and it's definitely something.
Pilot license territory.
Yeah, you're just taking off on it. But yeah, it's a real tricky place, but to call notes in. But it's once you get your head around it and how it works, it's basically like a crest corner every time, because you're coming up till a crest and the road just goes the complete opposite way on the other side. So it's different calling notes out there compared to going to the likes of like Croatia or Sweden or any of them places, because you have big jumps and the corners just your road position and where the car bees on the road is a big thing. Like.
Yeah, because I know again in the car you can use hedge lines maybe to guide where you thought the road's going to be. As you said in Visit, you're coming to a crest and it's blue sky and tall trees either side. You've no idea where that. Well, you have the idea where it's going. The driver's the idea, but it's that information has to be relayed.
Yeah, simple thing. Like there's what a lot of drivers use there is like yellow tint glasses, and the difference that makes to defining the banks and defining the road is unbelievable.
Right.
It's a big help for drivers. Most drivers use them, so it's the difference that it makes, because everything's literally white.
Right. The other side then as well, we mentioned you in Portugal, so that was heat, dust, fairly rough. Greece, the Acropolis is certainly going to be all of that. I'm thinking you're heading into Drumlin territory when you're heading to Greece, so you are.
Yeah, we haven't. We done Greece 2 years ago. And when we were there, it was more towards the end of the year, the end of the season, which was like September time, and it wasn't as bad. It was still warm, but we're going to it now in the middle of the summertime, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be...
it's a finishers event, that one. It's a real test for the car, isn't it? And the crews, obviously, but it's a real test of car.
Yeah, it's just about managing your pace and managing, the stages and what stages you can push on, what stages you have to be wary of. Obviously, we're going to be running that bit further back than the rest of the cars, so the stages will have deteriorated a bit better or more. Throughout, and it will obviously we will have to take that into consideration on how we approach the stage. But it's going to be a finishers rally, and it's going to be about using your head and who's going to be smart, like, to get there.
Rallying at home here then, and you've been and done a lot of the national events and the international events. How much does it differ from being out on the world stage?
Yeah, well, the roads is completely different. It's just like coming back home to navigate is just, I enjoy it, but it is much easier than going to navigate in Croatia or Finland or any of them places. Like, it's the roads there's a big difference in the surface and just in the corners, like, and how you make notes here till out there.
Right, and that's the biggest part of it. Take it.
That's the biggest part in my eyes. Like, it's what I would think whenever you come back home here, that you could actually memorise the stage far easier at home here than you could out abroad.
Right.
but it's just to do with the nature of the roads and how everything out there looks the same. Out in the world stage in Europe looks the same, whereas you come home here, everything change. It changes and
Yeah.
it's
It's a completely different demographic, naturally enough. And
yeah.
I said, I suppose, you've hedgerows and telegraph
Yeah.
poles. You have a lot more landmarks nearly here as well
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
read.
And it's just it is different, but it's it's what makes the
Still,
challenge.
still enjoyable. What's the favourite when you're home here then as well? You have done Donegal. You have.
Yeah,
Just sorry, I come into my head. Just
I've done most rallies.
Yeah.
Donegal definitely is one of the favourites, I suppose. Like the stages are always. I've done it. I think I've done the rally like 5 or 6 times. But yeah, I'd say Donegal sticks in my head. West Cork is probably between it and West Cork would be two of the
Right.
picks.
Two of
West
the-
Cork's a very, very good event.
right.
Brilliant event.
People mightn't realise this then as well. You're sitting in the cart. Seems like a nice cushy old number. Helmet on, calling notes. Fitness doesn't have to be that big of a thing. It's the total opposite. You have to be very fit, because a fit body means a fit mind, and a fit mind means that you're mentally switched on all the time.
Yeah, well, you need to be. There's no point in you need to be in good shape. You have long days, early mornings, late nights. Everything just is coming at you, and like at them world events, you're basically working on anywhere from 4, 5, 6 hours sleep, depending on
Yeah.
the night. Like Portugal, there was quite tough on us. Like there was nights we were coming on the Friday night. We were coming back till our accommodation at just after midnight, and we were up the next morning just before 6 to start prepping our notes, or start going through our DVD of notes for the Saturday, and then
Go at it
start
again.
filming and go at it again.
Go at it again another
For the whole
day.
day.
Why I brought up the fitness was because not only are you on the world stage when it comes to motorsport, you're also an All Ireland medal winner as well when it comes to Gaelic games, and in particular the handball.
Yeah, well, the handball has always been there, and I try to. It has took a bit of a back foot. I haven't really done as much within the counties or Ulster this past couple of years, just because I wasn't able to dedicate enough time to it. And if I can't dedicate time to it, I don't really want to.
Yeah.
I still play it, but I would rather give it 110% before I would do anything. But yeah, I won an All Ireland in the All Ireland wall balls back in, I think it was 2021 or 2020. So yeah, it was one of them ones that I always wanted to get, and I got it.
And did you ever take the football as a matter of interest? Because we are here in the heartland of, I should say, Scotstown. The Kilmore Training Centre is literally within eye distance from us here. Did you ever take to the football?
I played football all up till minors, and I was always played plenty of games, and it went well for me. I had plenty of good results with it, and I was playing handball as well. And then I started night navigations, and everyone was just coming at me at once. So the football was getting to be that there was a lot more time needed to be dedicated to it to get moved on ahead up, and I just decided that I'd done my bit at it, and the handball was a bit more flexible because I didn't have to be Pacific evenings for training, and I was able to walk around me rallying with the handball, and I stuck at it. And then obviously the rallying was going well, and it took a toll, and I was trying to juggle it and work and everything, so I just had to.
And that's where
back in the handball.
We should wrap things up, or close to it anyway, I should say to you. In the middle of all this, in the middle of all going around the world and competing and taking weeks here, weeks there, and making notes, one thing or another, you still have to come home and do a day's work then as well. You're still gainfully employed in the middle of all this.
Yeah, no, I still thankfully have a very understanding boss, Michael Carbon there. So he's been a big help for me from the started rallying, from the very, very, very start. Between him and Niall Maguire, they've been a big help. But Michael has anytime I'm looking off, or if I have to do an event, and I always try to give him good notice. But there's times that it doesn't always be that way, and he's always very understanding, and it's there's never an issue, and it goes, but it works both ways.
Absolutely. And just finally, what's the next target for Conor Mohan? Football, handball, World Rally and Junior? I take it is the world stage at the pro level. Would that be something you'd be given consideration to?
I would, if I was given the opportunity, I probably would take it. Yes, absolutely. I'm happy with how it's going so far and what I'm doing. So I don't really have any big expectations. I'm happy with what we're doing, and our aim is to become junior champions, and we're going to try and push towards that for the end of the season. So I just take it as it comes, really, and whatever doors open, I'll see.
I can use the line of a lady that's further down the road through Ballinode to Davenant, Gloria. It's one day at a time, isn't it?
One day at a time, exactly.
So there you go. That's episode 3 of the Monaghan Way complete, with myself, Sean McCaffrey, here in association with Northern Sound. My thanks again to Conor Mohan for inviting us into his man cave, as it described here, to give us a rundown on his navigation exploits, his touch into Gaelic football, and of course his handball All-Ireland title as well. Don't forget, you can get all our podcasts available on your usual outlets, your Spotify, your Apple, and on your YouTube as well. We have some episodes already up there for you, and we have plenty more still to come your way.